He's looking
Yo,
to
what's up,
overtake
everybody?
that roof.
We are back with Fortnite. We're back with the stream. I'm so sorry for making our wait for so long. My bad. Ignore the camera. But yeah, we got it. Let's go.
Lots of proof here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday.
Let's go, boys.
That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not.
Unknown Army just had that beat on him wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead.
I'm not dealing.
He's just taking all of these platforms too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first. So clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's gonna do it. Commandment was in third place, and Unknown Army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
And a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster. He's looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller. And his main priority right now is metal and more loot.
Let's take a look here. We got Martine. He's got eyes on a target. Also using his Sky Stalker skin. One of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun. Close range, but no! It was low boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me look out for low boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another though.
Guys,
so boom, not in this one. Maybe
stream on? Can
you find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic tilted towers for that close range PvP. He's gonna get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are gonna be great for maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is it is. When players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, there's obviously going to be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, right? The sheer presence of where we are. Some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look up at all. I think I'm just going to focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before, they're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, use wrestling again, worked out well that time.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There's nowhere Astonish can run. He goes into it. Lands the 2 shot, and that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Okay. It's alive.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legendary. He's going to be in a fight right now. Moves on the side, loses the high ground. Oh, man.
I'll make the changes.
That is rough. Legendarian not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizzas placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Legendarian just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Lechi who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous.
I'm
but gets
an
elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshi, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshi, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshi, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L trigger. You're gonna have, and I know some people are gonna be like, oh, L trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right? You got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside. side of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, you know, just the age difference. Leshy's 15, you know, could just be a little faster kid start here.
Yeah, I know. When I was 15, I was nowhere near as good as he was with a controller. So, and I competed for a very long time. Got through. Was just in this fight here for the moment. Does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him, and he hears that movement all around. You can also get
my stream live, boys? Can someone please confirm?
The mini map where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis and be able to top himself back up.
Oh, what's up, Afri? Yuvraj, hi man, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream.
Shockwaves are so important.
I'm so sorry about this. Just give me a second.
And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here, but Crew!
Let's go.
Oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirk and grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. Left Eye was responsible again for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with the heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? So he's coming up. Right here.
1080 boys.
I think Ninja yesterday had talked about
1080.
the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you'll be deadly out there in the field. But she has done a lot of times Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much, and I don't understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. When you have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades.
And you know, you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite. And he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
Yeah, in competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe, you just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. Courage just say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said.
Oh boys, new webcam tomorrow, so our watch parties will have a good, nice 720 webcam.
Tifu.
That's a good scene. I need to get my food, so after this like match, I'll get my dinner.
Center map, more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep, movement options for him, which in the last game, he had the shadow bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was quenched in his thirst. But then now this is sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tifu. Unfortunately, right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's
not
so
placed
difficult.
down, unfortunately.
That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing Fortnite here, but that's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect.
Tifu, bro, he rotated so early.
You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely going to have to finish that battle. Here we have Robabs. He's kind of looking up. He's holding that edit, though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's going to trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot. Now they're both, they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's going to go first now?
New circle, now active.
This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's going to have to try again in the next game. It's Robabs who does manage to get the better Oh man, this is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive, staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right. Now we have Leshy back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player in 2nd place in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Leshy though, applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields. He'll be okay for the time being.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream, man. Sorry if I missed any comments. My live chat should be working. Doesn't seem to be working for some reason. And the stream just fucking lagged. Okay. 1 second.
Could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Man, Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with.
1 second, guys. I need to.
He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Class. Got Jesus as well. Down low on the flooring.
I just need to shut this for a second.
There's Class.
I'll quickly make my changes and open it again. Okay, just bear with me. Alright.
Also has that glider.
I am so sorry.
And he has currently. Might want to take advantage of a shadow bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Or actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are.
Flatty, yo, Robin, what's up, bro? How's it going, man?
So he's sitting on 2 ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's going to have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting there is going to realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
Bro, I can't talk. I'm not using my PS, bro. I won't be able to communicate.
Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it.
Bro, मैं PS पे नहीं हूँ यार, मैं नहीं कर पाऊँगा party join bro. नहीं हो पाएगा, I'm so sorry. क्योंकि मेरे को लैपटॉप से करना पड़ रहा है. I can't see the stream on my PS, and I don't want to fucking watch it in creative, dude. It's damn shit.
The way to the end game, really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just
I'm doing it from the laptop, bro. I'm streaming from the laptop. That's the thing.
So we're going to find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations and movement.
Hey, bhai, oh, Netflix ka, if you're doing, let me know.
That's been his strategy.
Netflix ka. I know, I've put the screen black. If I changes kar raha hu stream pe, it'll come in a second.
Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that.
He tried to catch him right there. You saw that? He wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Grabbed him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting as well, because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm starting to push. Look at Leshy still going for shots.
Should we watch this in theater mode?
नहीं ना, full screen में अपनी अपना देखते हैं मस्त. Now we're going to game 1 winner. He's dealt 420 damage in this match hasn't taken a single shot, one elimination form right now.
Wow. Is it proper now, Robin? Is it good? Is it good?
Begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lecce, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
And it is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here. Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now.
I think it's too loud, but should I increase the volume, boys? Let me know.
At the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion. Yeah. All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground, we haven't seen much of Andretta so far. But you got to be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugha and Lecce.
What is happening,
a great
bro?
game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugha, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right
Lecce
here.
is killing it, bro. He's pushing everyone. He wants points, bro. Like, why point do? मेरे को World Cup जीतना है.
Bugha does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugha, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game.
Yeah.
Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugha again with 11 players remaining. We're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Bugha, last we saw, he does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's going to get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skype's in this one as well. Maybe he's going to get a back-to-back
Bro,
win.
He has 7 rockets, 6.
He's got the high ground, he's got the explodes, he sees players, he has 11 builds. So he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes.
Bro, he has to some gaps.
Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there. And Riversand has to reset, needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's going to be above him. He's too good. An elimination onto Skype. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it going to be down low? It's Dubs. It's Dubs down low. And Riversand has Dubs on his site. Who's going to get the win here? Riversand navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversand, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him, you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here.
Every single thing ends like this, bro. Dubs, dude, what a beautiful clutch, bro. GG, Dubs.
Second place finish for him there.
Mad
Had the
clutch.
high ground,
Mad
had
clutch.
explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riversand. And look at this unfold right here. Riversand has the Rockets looking right
for
at
that
Dubs.
shit,
And Dubs
bro.
just needed to play defense. Riversand had 4 builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. And what a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So second place in game 2. Game 3 gets first place He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit, and he's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skype, he managed to make it to the end game, as well as Booga. So, our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their victories.
Game 1 was Booga, Game 2 was Skype, and Game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking 2nd, and Booga, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too, as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running, but that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Fwexy, and Issa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win.
A massive, massive victory royale for Dubs here, a definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long, obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the Rockets are coming down on you hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You're trying to get high ground. What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and trying to hold on the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I do say so myself. What are you thinking? What strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos, but there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lupo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this earlier
I'm eating dinner now, man. So I'm pretty much not even going to talk. I'm really going to sit and eat dinner now.
That's all it is. Okay. As am I. So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering,
I am, man. I'm sorry, the comments actually coming a little delayed to me, which is why it's taking some time for me to reply. Okay, so just bear with me, okay? But I'm reading all the comments that are coming, alright? Yo, Rockred, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? Also, can you hear my voice properly? Is it too less? Is it too much? Help me out with the audio now. Is it fine?
Of the season, follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season
champions. What's up, Rocket? How are you doing, bro? Long time no see.
Now, this is just a taste of what's to come as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So, keep your eyes peeled for more news.
Okay, give me 1 second, boys. I'm going to get my dinner and come.
In the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that?
Oh, this is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup Finals here in New York City, and just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far, did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Booga, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a Game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing the baller play. there's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite Monster.
Yeah, you saw Dubs game 1 try to get a little bit more aggressive, opting into take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time for this event right here, he queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again. And then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocks the world. That, my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle bus is getting loaded. And look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmallow concert earlier today? Incredible stuff. That live performance from him, you love to see it, but this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugga, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back 4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king eye, a keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him, too, because
why not?
A king out there.
He really is, man. You got, I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tifu, you got to live up to it.
That's right.
You got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugga still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only. And this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms, some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner in great fashion. You can see he's playing the Crackshot house here where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legendian as well. They're going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Here's a nice little fun fact. 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with his duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkram. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head.
Feels bad, man.
Oh,
when friends collide. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nix, a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10 each and every week that he played. Everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. We'll have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
Listen, Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them.
He's hearing all that movement up above him. Niddle does have the high ground. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away after he does a little motion to the camera. I love you, buddy.
No instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
I'm back, boys. I hope I haven't missed too much. haven't missed much.
Few players representing the Asian
check
region here.
Comment.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sino yesterday, but Like and Twins, they've really been going at it here in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's going to take it all. 7 builds for Letwick currently. HP, little dire. Twins also going to be in a rough spot too, and then won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's going to give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwick is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's going to be gone out of that one, Monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking. And that's Let who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way. He was committed, and he was, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he going to do? How's he going to represent for himself and his fans?
It's a battle, cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against T.
Your voice is fine. Lovely, Rocker. Thank you so much for letting me know.
And sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire. So they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it. And it's Mega! Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the hack through? Moffin goes in for the ride, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just unfortunately in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate through here and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from King taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his past earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discords for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Everyone has their opinion and strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's, favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good, that's good. Obviously, it's, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay, though, from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's a third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Pika ordered a quick 2-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. Huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. But the fight continues against Dracons.
An artillery strike right here, and Dracons is going to have to back up here. Hood J is going to get a moment of peace, because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much. Dracon's trying to axe his way through the metal, and he's trying to loot right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly. But no, he's more focused on this battle right now. And sets up a cone as well.
And Dracon's, from the Brazilian region, so there's just aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. They don't care what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes the defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining. As well as some bandages.
Allow him to bounce back. He's got all the mats now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, he's got everything to work with. Sometimes you gotta go, just farm up, pick up as much as you can, or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. Play the safe game. There's no reason that you gotta get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do, but in this instance, hey, you're playing for the long game.
Yeah, and I talked with Macwood and Calculator in the Players Lounge for a while and asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengage? And he says, depends, you know? If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up.
There's no reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. Has his player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment, pop a mini.
That was a best case scenario for him because he still has a full whites here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there.
2 quality players right now scrambling against one another. Pika, get rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this, perhaps. It's right in front. Oh, man. Played around the corner there. And then Pika, he just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head.
This is an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duels competition yesterday. And of the 2, he's the one who just goes in. He's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now, and he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're gonna get ticked for 1 in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
He doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's gonna chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's gonna open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to tick for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
And I just gotta say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. He lost sight of him, and he let his guard down, and he got punished for it.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew with the burst SMG, the weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we had mentioned before, we're pretty far from it. Okay, so when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick. But each elimination is going to give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watched online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight, and arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. He gets out.
And look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened. And he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. This King's tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. And if I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King fight over on the mountain there. Tuesday's next to him, as well as King Star. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target.
Yo, iTag, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, bro.
Box fight he goes, and now he's gonna reposition
the
here.
Comments are coming a little delayed, okay? So just bear with me by the time I respond. Also, I'm putting my mic away from my face because I'm eating right now. So just bear with me, okay? What the fuck, King?
He's not here to play. Laser's gonna go down.
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here, because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Ebola, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight too is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe.
He had a target and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs, also has a baller, so they're probably not gonna get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be baller buddies.
Storm Surge is still a thing. Maybe there will be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right though about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's gonna be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Yo, what's up?
Dubs only with 2 eliminations is actually.
Yo, what's up, Tanmay? How's it going, bro? Bro, they're not playing right now, man. We're watch party. The watch party was a solos.
That's why you want to be proactive.
So I'm not going to be playing Fortnite at all right now, bro.
Realistically,
just going to be
watching
the solos World Cup.
Like pretty much with, you know,
and it was,
without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zay we were discussing.
While you're here, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. It will mean a lot of support.
Take shots and Benji Fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that he put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
And now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get damage perhaps. And King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations, 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. It's far away though from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at zone 5. This is where and things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably going to want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. Take a look here. Tfue, nice little replay right there. One of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Kurtz. Tfue on the board. The king. What are the chances of that one? Yeah, the good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here. Can Tfue make a big comeback for himself here?
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. And Tfue did have the mark on him. Guy though, you hate that one. When you just get focused on so much. You're out and about, trying your best to stay up in this game. And then everyone looks at you, and Tfue again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
Yes, Prisionero was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Our players do build around 2-box metal, perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your game 3 winner Dubs.
Yes, we got out, so yes, we damn that.
2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrel, unfortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Flexi, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone. Still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right. He was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tfue's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tfue gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're going to jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Magro, because Magro catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura, tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. What he's going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Magro's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire. Top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongrel gets up to the high ground. Maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him. Knocks the structure down. And the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game. But Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5.
eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running a rough shot in the ultimate low ground, but it's Sam, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Sam gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2. He got second place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
I love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's feeling good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. Oh, that was a wild, wild game. Here are the standings, though. Bugha still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently, but Sam now jumps in to second place. Nate in third. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in fourth. Rux as well. Epic Whale in sixth. Skype and Dubs get knocked down to 7th and 8th. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in 9th. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
Doing so good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is. Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. I wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner song.
And a huge Game 4 win for Sam. Now sitting at second place in the standings. Feeling really, really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said, I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure no one impulses up to take my high ground, and then I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Sam, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe was in second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Ball is standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining, and it looks like Sam and Bugha repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard, but for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that push him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkram. We've talked about Arkram a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkram and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun, and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures, and that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground at this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb, but for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Bala. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it be solos or even in duos, along with his teammate Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today?
Yeah.
And
Boys, I'll be back in a second,
like,
okay?
honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Monster D-Face the Boricua, boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few.
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace _. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all of the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, you know, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about 2,000 amps of power, which is about enough to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, introduce me to all of these working parts. But there are so many more things that go into all of this. So when you guys are out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet.
안녕하세요. 저는 이제 팩스폭스라고 하고요. 저는 아시아 서버에서 이제 뉴욕 진출했고요. 이제 나이는 17살입니다. 저는 이제 위크 1에서 이제 처음에 솔로 4연승을 해가지고 초반에 이 점수를 거의 다 따가지고 그냥 후반에 맘 놓고 하고.
4 victory royales and he averaged 8 elims. Obviously first place. That's unbelievable.
이제 아시아는 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에 저는 연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 될 것 같습니다.
Hi, New York City.
Oh, okay, Faxlox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 진짜 응원하겠습니다.
Hey Fortnite fam, BallaTW here to get in the nitty-gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with a floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling. One of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these